Let's talk about school at home / textbook, workbook type homeschooling. A lot of people think that all homeschooling is like this. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. This is what you were probably used to when you went to school. You have textbooks, you are either presented information in a lecture style or you're reading, and then there's typically some sort of assessment type questions, exercises, workbook pages, something like that you're going to complete. Usually there's quizzes, unit or chapter tests, and things like that to assess as you go along. So this is an option that works great if you are pulling your kids out of public school, especially if they've been sent home with their materials from school and their teacher said, here, take this and use it. You can go ahead and pick up with that and keep going and know that your kids are on par with their peers back at school. Pros of the textbook, workbook, school at home style would be that you know what information to present and in what order. You can compare what you're doing to the scope and sequence of whatever school you're comparing to or considering putting your kids back into, and know that your kids are on par with what's being learned there. You have the assessment tools of worksheets, quizzes, and tests that you can grade and know how they're doing. This is probably what your kids are used to if you're just now pulling them out of school, so it may be an easier transition for them because it's familiar. And again, if you were able to take workbooks from school, you can just continue using those and that may get you through. I would say the cons are it's not necessarily a very engaging way to learn. It might not be interesting enough for your kids to really remember. So if your goal is that you want them to really get excited and know about a time period, textbooks don't often impart that kind of enthusiasm for learning. Kids that struggle with reading or writing independently are not going to be a good fit for this typically, unless you get an online version, in which case you can kind of circumvent that problem. It can be kind of dry or boring for kids to do textbook learning. Also, it might not offer flexibility of scheduling for your family or space for you to pursue other interests that your kids might have. Because this is going to be very grade specific, it's likely that you're not going to be able to combine with multiple kids, and it may be fairly time consuming on you to do one-on-one tutoring and teaching for each grade level. So if you have multiple children, that can be a challenge. We're going to go on to a part 2.